Happy Tuesday. What's going on, guys? It's Ricky with Tactical Solutions. I hope that you guys are all having an amazing Tuesday. All I can say is our team killed it today, and I want to keep you guys up to date with what's going on with Palantir, which is one of the biggest losers in the market today, and rightfully so, right? The more overbought and overvalued a stock becomes, the harder it will fall. Now, don't get this confused with it's a strong correction day for PLTR, but remember, we're still looking forward to Friday. It's the Jackson Hole meeting, 10 a.m. I will be live streaming that on my YouTube channel. Just another reason to subscribe. And that will tell us the story of, hey, is this a dip buy opportunity that the market wants to buy up? And will markets make new highs? That's definitely a possibility. Or is it the beginning of the end, right? Is this finally the time that markets are going to begin to turn around? I am still not convinced that markets are going to turn around from this point forward. But as you can see, I'm very active today because it's pissing a lot of bag holders off that I continue to shed light on the uncertainty of the market. But I'm mainly doing that with the titles that I'm filming or that I'm posting these YouTube videos on. If you actually listen and watch the videos, they're actually not that bad. So I made $6,400 today. I closed out my short. I left myself with one lucky share on my INTC short. If you're part of my LPP team, which again, I trade live with them every single morning, they got to see me enter that short. So thank you again for those that tuned on in. If you ever want to tune on in to my live trading sessions, second link in the description down below. But I wanted to show you PLTR. I did make a few bucks, 300. It was literally such a small position. I left myself with my one lucky share. I actually went long at one point. It sold off. It found its support, began to indicate signs of recovery. And was like, hey, actually, I'm just going to actually get out of this position because direction is not in my favor. Market sentiment was incredibly bearish today. So yes, for a small period of time, I actually went long. I only made $300, so not very much. But this thing is absolutely getting destroyed. 9.35% during normal trading hours, another 2% during aftermarket hours. I love to see overvalued stocks drop, but don't get it twisted, right? We are not in a position based off of the larger time frame. We are not in a position as short sellers or people that are shorting the market to be greedy. We have to be realistic, and we all know that the market can quickly buy this up. So please do not get my title confused with what I actually believe of the market. I do believe markets are irrational enough that on Friday, if Jerome Powell signals that the Federal Reserve is expected to cut rates more than what was expected, the market will buy up this dip and markets can make new highs. The same thing with PLTR. I would not be surprised. But if they don't signal more rate cuts and they signal a possible pause because of what's going on with the PPI report, it came out significantly higher than what was expected, then it should be a lot of fun, right? But I love shedding light on these like super overvalued companies because even with this strong retracement, for those that did not see, PLTR in just 1 week of trading from highs of 189 has sold off 18 to almost 19%. As you guys can see here, PLTR, Palantir is now down. At this point, it was 16.5%, but now it's down over 18% in 5 days, making it the steepest 5-day decline since April. That was during the trade war, something to take into consideration. The Magnificent Seven just closed the day red. Again, not also very surprised. And this is the thing that I want to shed light on. The most expensive stocks in the S&P 500. Palantir, of course, takes the crown. Palantir, even with how much it's already pulled on back. Let me pull it up for you guys right here. Thanks to Investing Pro for, again, allowing us to see what a company's PE ratio is. 490 times its earnings. Even with how much it's already pulled on back, it is still trading at 490 times of what the company produces in earnings. This is a company that makes less than $1 billion a year in net profit, yet it has a market cap of $374 billion. It was north of $400 billion just a few days ago. Again, to shed light on how much hype there is in the market where fundamentals are not aligning with actual valuations. And even while I'm saying all of this, guess what? It can still go even higher on Friday. And that's the part that excites me most about this, is that now that markets have pulled back a little bit, I wanted to show you. I don't have an open short position on Palantir. I have no reason to, I want it to sell off as much as possible. I think that I'm so tired of these overhyped up AI bullshit companies. I'm sure a lot of you guys are, but we have to respect the market trend, right? Yes, I know that if the sentiment changes on Friday, I'm ready. Markets have pulled back enough that if we begin to show signs of a reversal and things begin to get bought up, I'd be happy to go long for a quick trade, all just an intraday trade. I have no intention of holding Palantir long term at these valuations because, again, it's incredibly overvalued. It's just my opinion. Don't allow my opinion to trigger you. Again, if you want to buy it at $200 per share because that's where you think it's going, I don't think it's worth that, but who cares what I think, right? You're entitled to your own opinion. It's your money. If you lose it all, that's on you, right? I'm just here to shed light on what I think is raising some red flags. And it's that, yes, I don't think many people are surprised that Palantir is seeing one of the sharpest declines because it also saw one of the sharpest, pushes. And just like a rubber band, the further you stretch it, the more you stretch it, the harder it will snap and fall once you actually, or once the rubber band snaps. And that's what we wanted to share, right? Citron Research said that they are doubling their Palantir short, valuing Palantir at $40 per share. I don't really care what these, analysts or these institutions have to say about other companies, right? They're always, that's the thing. It's like, just like Citron is shedding light, right? I have every reason to hate on Palantir. I want Palantir to sell off, but it's like, I don't care about this. They're obviously sharing this news because they have an open short position and they're institutions. They carry weight with what they share. So yeah, it's favorable for them because, they're saying that they're doubling down. They're valuing at $40 per share and markets are retracing, making them even more money, rightfully so. Just like analysts always set up insane price targets for Palantir at $200 because they own Palantir. So it's in their best interest to set those expectations. But if you have any form of common sense, which again is very hard to find in this market full of greed, when a company trades at 490 times its earnings, when it's a company that produces less than $1 billion in actual profit, yet it's worth over $350 billion, and at one point over $400 billion, it's just good to be like, okay, I don't mind trading this because obviously this company has a good story and good price momentum and direction is favorable. There's nothing wrong with trading an overvalued pump and dump, right? Because that's what, in my opinion, this is. But we all know that if markets do begin to retrace, it's always these BS companies like Palantir that will see the hardest falls, right? And if we look back to what we experienced in April, during the trade war, when it went from $125 per share all the way down to lows of 66, when it lost 47% of its value in less than 50 days. I want to remind you of that. Imagine losing 50% of your account, whatever you have in your account, 50% of it in just less than 2 months, a month and a half. And it's all possible because just as quick as it goes up, again, these are incredibly, inherently risky positions. They're trading at a premium. So you can't be surprised that all of a sudden if market sentiment shifts, because that's all really that's in your favor, market sentiment was bullish. Momentum was bullish. But it's just because the idea of, hey, we're going to continue to go higher. And we still can. Don't get it twisted, right? I fully understand and respect that markets can be more bullish for longer. So that's why I wanted to talk about both sides. Like I'm all for shorting Palantir, but also we have to respect that markets can recover. So I wanted to come on here. I wanted to shed some light on that and also wanted to share the series of stocks that saw some of the biggest declines today, from VXTC losing 43% to ASTS losing 5%, SoFi 5%, Open 6%, HIMS 6%. Don't get me started with HIMS. HIMS also another big BS company. Let me see if I can pull it up here. Lost 6.47%. We've called out the BS, and you guys know that we did. We called out the BS, common resistance range right around $70 per share. It's lost nearly 50% of its value, 40% in just the past few trading days. Look at that. Same resistance, same resistance, same resistance, same resistance, same retracement. Again, bullshit companies doing the same bullshit thing over and over again. Excuse my language for all those that are a little bit younger. MSTR, same BS over and over again. Pump, dump, pump, dump, pump, dump. MicroStrategy, known as the Ponzi loop. They take your shares and dilute you and borrow against your shares, losing 26% in just the past few days trading. So again, you're more than welcome to. If you want to buy into, I would rather buy into Palantir than I would buy into HIMS or to MicroStrategy. That's just my 2 cents. The reason why is that at least Palantir is somewhat of a growing company, and it's in a space that is based off of AI, and AI is very relevant right now, and it looks like Wall Street at least likes him. Don't get it wrong. Don't get my words confused. with what I'm not saying. That doesn't mean that I believe Palantir is actually valued at what it's trading at. I just think that it has a better story and it has better fundamentals, and it can trade better in current market conditions. HIMS, you're really going to value HIMS at the price that it is. It's an erectile dysfunction company, right? Like there's no edge with that. MicroStrategy, don't even get me started. It's a company that loses hundreds of millions of dollars every single year. And what do? They use your money to buy Bitcoin. Why not cut out the middleman and you buy Bitcoin yourself? Again, it's hard to find people with common sense in today's market because they see that money was made, so they jump into it, but then no more money is being made because you're buying into the top. I wish you guys nothing but the best. Just be selective, a good reminder. And I'm not against buying into Palantir at these oversold levels based off of the recent pullback. I think that Friday will be very telling. And if markets begin to recover, I'd love to consider going long. But if then the Federal Reserve is expected to not cut rates, get ready for a nice drop. And I'm excited to short the shit out of the market. Excuse my language once again. So again, I trade live every single morning. Good trades, bad trades. You get to see it all happen live. Second link in the description down below. It's designed for complete beginners. If you like the way that I break things down, I think you'll enjoy that lesson library and the daily live trading session, which is all included in LPP 3.0. Second link down below. I'll see you tomorrow at Market Open for our live session. Take care, team.